Let me guess, this isn't a game, right? Because it's on a phone and doesn't have some cinematic intro sequence. Well, let's recap for a second. There's that view, held by a small group of console loyalists, and then there's the view held by everyone else. The barista at the coffee shop I stopped at this morning, that really pretty cashier at the corner pharmacy, and even the guy, the sandwich eating guy at the lunch deli, all of whom I saw just today playing this game. Yes, that's right, this game, because no one in their right mind would deny that Scrabble is in fact a game. And this game is basically just Scrabble, only with perpetual online multiplayer. This is Words with Friends, yet another iPhone game turned cultural phenomenon. Developed and published by Zynga, a company with an uncanny knack for getting people who don't play games to become gaming addicts, Words with Friends is really just a clone of the board game Scrabble. You and your opponent take turns placing letters on a game board to spell words. But the thing is, each letter has an assigned point value, and so the objective is to outscore and ultimately outsmart your opponent. Now, to me, there's just no replacing a good old-fashioned wooden Scrabble board, and as great as Words with Friends is, it can't beat playing with an actual group of friends. But that said, this is a terrific adaptation that really has an emphasis on recreating the game's social aspects as closely as possible. So at its core, Words with Friends is a great game of Scrabble. That's the reason so many people play it, but it's the social aspects that keep them playing. In Words with Friends, you can play a game with anyone, at any time, over any distance. And this isn't that big a deal, technically speaking, but it's still really cool to be able to play a game of Scrabble with someone on the other side of town, or even the other side of the country for that matter, on my phone. And then when you find out you can actually have multiple games running simultaneously against multiple friends in multiple places, I mean, wow. That is what technology is for. The idea that this is a game with friends, no matter where they are, is also realized in the game's chat functionality. You can have a conversation with your friend while you're in the heat of linguistic warfare. And along with the game's Twitter and Facebook integration, the ability to chat helps drive the social aspect home. Not to mention save you quite a bit on text messaging. Suck it, AT&T! The presentation's kinda nice too. It's really minimal, but that's the way it should be. The game doesn't have any music or anything, so you can provide your own soundtrack, whether a podcast or an audiobook or some choice cuts from your iTunes. It's gotten to the point where you can just walk down the street and see for yourself. Words with Friends is a huge success in the App Store, and for good reason. This is a casual-friendly game that copies an old idea, but bundles it in a very nice package. And for just a handful of change, you can't ask for much more. Except maybe a date for the weekend. Let's see what's happening here. Come on. Oh, son of a...